Hi guys, my name is Adam and I'm here with Love Crafts. We're going to be looking at top 10 embroidery stitches in this video, and by the time you've finished you should have all the skills that you need to jump into your first embroidery project. For the next stitch that we're going to be looking at, we are going to be doing a split stitch. For this I've threaded 6 strands of the stranded cotton, so it's a full length of thread. I haven't split any of the threads off. The reason I've done this is because the thicker the thread, the easier a split stitch is to do. It's not a rule, but it's a guide. It makes it easier for you to come back up as we work along. Okay, so I've threaded my needle, and again, like with the previous stitches, I'm just going to draw a nice line with my air erasable pen so that we've got a guide to follow. And we're going to come up in the fabric, and we want to come down like we have with the previous 2 stitches, and just want to pull it so it's lying nice and flat. And the key difference with a split stitch, what you want to do is very carefully put the needle through the stitch that you have just worked. So you're going backwards and you're trying to come up exactly through the thread, and that is the key difference with a split stitch. And you want to pull your thread and then just go back down again. So what you are doing with the needle is splitting the thread that you've previously laid down. So again, we're coming up through the previous stitch and giving it a little tug and then going back down again. And the key difference between this stitch and a back stitch is you don't really see the actual stitches at the end once you've done them. You can't really see where one stitch begins and the other ends, which again can make it a very useful stitch for outlining. It can give you a very smooth line. So we'll just work our way along. Splitting the stitch with the needle. This is why it's particularly useful to use thicker amounts of thread. If you're using only 1 or 2 strands, it can make this stitch very tricky to do. And then as you get towards the end, with the split stitch, it can be useful to just leave, when you do your last stitch, do it a little bit shorter than your previous stitches, and it anchors it and makes it less noticeable that you haven't actually split the last stitch. Okay, and that is a split stitch.